welcome to Arts Focus. My name is Elise Buckite. I'm a program specialist with the Columbia Office of Cultural Affairs. And today in the studio, I have Julie Stavely O'Carroll with Wontanara. Welcome, Julie.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You guys are pretty new, so I wanted to just start off. How did you get started? What led you to create Wontanara?
So I have a huge passion for West African dance, specifically Guinea. I study in Guinea, West Africa. I go there. I've been going there every year for about the past 5 years, and I've been studying the art form for probably 18. I always say 18 years, but it's probably more than that by now. So I started when I lived in Pennsylvania. That's where I'm from, and I started doing it there. Guinea dance, and I was part of a performance group, and then we moved to Charleston, South Carolina, and I became a part of a group there. And when I came to Columbia, I just really wanted to keep doing it, and so I thought, well, I'll create something so that we can have, some West African dance. Specifically Guinea is what I study in Columbia, and there had been a group that had been doing some Guinea dancing and percussion a few years before I got here, and I was able to get in touch with those folks. And so there are some community drummers that are already familiar with this style of percussion, and we just kind of got it going again. So
that's awesome. So what kind of dance is it? What would make it stand out? What makes it Guinea dance?
Each country, and I've studied African dance from a few different countries in Africa, mostly Guinea though. Each country has kind of their own little style. Some of the instruments vary. We also collaborate with Mizzou Percussion, and Dr. Megan Arns, she studies in Ghana, so they have drums that are a little bit different. So the instruments can vary. In Guinea, I would say that they do more of what they call ballet style. And that means that when they do their choreography, they do things that would look really fun, to do in a performance. Mm-hmm. And so some of it is traditional. A lot of it is just choreography that they've added into different dances to perform it. And there are lots of different rhythms and dances, and I'm going to be learning this for the rest of my life.
Yeah. And it's all set to drumming?
Yeah, all to drumming. So there are different types of drums. There are doon-doons that are played with sticks, and then they also use djembes, and they also have what's called a balafone, which is like a xylophone, and sometimes they'll have a balafone player, and there's other instruments every now and again that are added in. And so each of the rhythms sort of has the rhythms come from many, many, many years ago.
Right.
And they have different meanings, and some of them are for cultivation. So like kasa is for cultivation. So the movement, the choreography is kind of goes along with it, like you're throwing out your seeds or planting the seeds, or and there's several celebration dances done for celebration, and mostly in when I'm in Guinea, mostly they do all these dances and always in a happy, smiling way.
Yeah.
So they seem like all celebration dances to me. And some of the tradition that goes along with it, there are some like coming of age dances and rhythms. Some of those traditions are still kept. A lot of the modern day ballet groups, and they call them ballet groups, there's like some French influence there. It's not like ballet dance, but that's what they call the groups. It's like a little more modernized, and so they're just do all of the dances kind of in a celebratory way.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I know you guys provide classes, but you're also out in the community in some other ways, right?
Yes, yeah. So I teach some beginner Guinea dance classes, and I plan on doing some starting in mid-September. I'm going to do a 5-week session. And we also go out to schools. I've been to a few different schools in the community to do some outreach education. I get the kids dancing, and they love that, especially like elementary, middle school kids. They're just like full of energy. So
yeah.
And I show them some pictures from my trips to Guinea, and we talk about the pictures and just like things that are kind of different, and we have conversations about that. And then we'll have some percussionists come as well, and I'll teach them some choreography, and it's really fun.
Yeah,
I really enjoy it.
Absolutely. So you've alluded to traveling over to Guinea, and you were so passionate about this art form. But I know I've heard you talk before about that line between appreciation and appropriation of a cultural art form. Can you
Yes.
expound on that a little?
I sure can. So I'm learning as I go along, and I understand that I have to look at this because if someone doesn't know me, and kind of how this came up is I had a picture of myself like hitting a drum on Facebook as like an advertisement for a class, and I just didn't realize how that comes across to people, and then people see that and they don't know me. And I think once someone gets to know me and they see what we're doing, and we study it, and I go to Guinea, and we also very much want to bring master teachers that are from Guinea and master teachers from Ghana, and that's a big part of what we want to do with the nonprofit. So it came across like in not such a positive way, and then I learned from that, and that prompted me to have, with a couple of colleagues at the university, prompted us to have a discussion on it. So we, brought in people that were interested on the topic. It was at the Bridge at Mizzou, and I really, put myself out there, and you have to. I feel like I have to be vulnerable and let people, have their voice, so I can better see where they're coming from, and then make better decisions, moving forward.
Yeah.
And our first session that we had, we talked more about, like this issue of appropriation versus appreciation. And then our next session, we're going to have another one in the fall, and we're going to talk about, what are some solutions for this, and what do we do, and how do we stay together on this so that everybody, feels good about it.
Yeah. Well, I think we all appreciate that in the arts community. So much art has come from different populations and from oppressed populations at different times. And so continuing the conversation is so good, and not being afraid to have those kind of conversations and talk about how we appreciate art in an equitable way. So I appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
And then I wanted to ask you about your upcoming event you've got coming up in October, right?
Yes. So October 19th is the date of the event, and we're still working on finalizing our venues. So I don't have the official locations yet. Hopefully we'll have that soon. And we're having, I do have the two guest artists confirmed. One, his name is Seni Dafe, and he lives in Vermont. He's from Guinea. And he came out a couple years ago and worked with us, and we thought he was really great, and he's young and energetic, and he is a master percussionist, and he also teaches dance. And another person that's coming, his name is Salia Kamara, and he is also from Guinea, and he was my dance teacher in Guinea on 2 of my trips, and he's phenomenal. And he just came to the U.S., so he's living in the U.S. now, and so we're gonna have him and his wife come. And they're going to come for a longer period of time. Like the event's on a Saturday, they're going to come on Tuesday, and so they're going to work with us, like
do some
community
extra
dance.
workshops.
Yeah, and work with percussion students, and then what we learn throughout the week, we're going to do. There'll be a performance on that Saturday evening. So during the day on October 19th, there'll be community workshops that anyone can come and take, and we'll have some dance workshops, and we'll have some a drum workshop, an Mbira workshop. They're having Mizzou Percussion will have a guest artist from Zimbabwe here at the same time, so we're going to incorporate all that together.
Yeah.
And the Mbira is from Zimbabwe, and you play it with your thumbs. It's really beautiful. And so we'll have like workshops like that during the day, and there'll be one that's going to be like a beginner family community class that'll be free, that anybody that wants to come and take it. And we're going to do our best with getting grants and everything to keep the cost down for everything else. And then in the evening we'll have a performance, and so we'll feature our guest artists, and and I work with some Africans in the community also, and so I want to see if we can get some of them involved to be in the performance and involved in other ways as well.
Awesome. So where can we go to keep up with that information and sign up for the classes that are starting in September?
Okay, so our Facebook page, we will be posting a lot of information about that. So if you go on Facebook to Wontanara Como, so the COMO is added onto the end of it. And then our website is squarespace.wontanara.com.
Gotcha.
So we have the Squarespace still in there.
That's okay. That's
We're
fine.
still working on
We'll
things.
put it up on the screen so that people can go there. But it sounds
Fantastic.
great. I hope more people get involved, and I'm really looking forward to the event.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming. And thank you for joining us on Arts Focus.